You say values change from one generation to the next, and perhaps my grandchildren will find it ridiculous that I chose not to include the tape in Grizzly Man. But I doubt it, you say. Now that you're referring to the famous scene in Grizzly Man where there's the tape of Timothy and his girlfriend basically being eaten by, which you don't allow his ex-girlfriend to hear, you listen to, and you don't show it. And I think that that was a choice, and I think it was a good choice. But what I want to focus on is that values change. Mores change over time, and you and I are of a certain age, and even in the time when we've been growing, things have changed immensely. But we live in a time now where we tend to where people want to view the past in terms of the sensibilities of the present. I just read that today, the Congress for the first time is talking about reparations for slavery, for people who were never slaves now, but maybe come from a society that has that in the background. How do you feel about this notion of rewriting the past in terms of the present?
Well, it's an attitude towards history, and it is looking at history from the pedestal of today's enlightenment, of today's morality, of today's science. And of course, it was perfectly normal for our great ancestors. They found it perfectly all right to burn witches. They found it perfectly all right and natural that there were slaves. Even the Bible doesn't deny it completely.
Oh, absolutely. The Bible's full of slaves.
And of course, the American Constitution does not mention them at all as human beings. So of course, and looking at history from today's perspectives, I think is a very dangerous way, because we have to accept the voyage that we have done as human beings. And the voyage is interesting in just seeing and noticing that we do not have witch burnings anymore, and seeing that capital punishment is vanishing more and more. Great. Yes, we are on a voyage, and we should know where we came from. And it's utterly absurd what this cancel culture is doing, or historical perspectives. In San Francisco, I think 250 or so schools and colleges will be renamed. And the craziest of all, I think a high school named after Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
Good old Abe has to be renamed. Not because he was the strongest power in abolishing slavery, because he treated the native populations, the First Nations, badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happily, by the way.
Then we have to abolish literally everyone.
Everyone has to be abolished. That's the. How can
pretty much everyone?
You'll be happy to know I just read that change of name, that Lincoln is going to stay. So that's at least
Lincoln is going to stay. Yeah, but that he was on the list of being deleted.
He was on the list, but the idea of repaying for sins at the time of the past when they weren't sins is the worst view, it seems to me, of history. As you say, it's in some sense the arc of history, as Martin Luther King said, should bend upward.
Yes.
And the better angels of our nature.
Yes, it denies us the deeper insights into our voyage, into our intellectual, into our ethical, into our historical voyage, and somehow shuts off understanding for history completely. I think it is a dangerous path which blinds us for the obstacles of the past and how we overcame, because we judge everything from our perspective today, and we are sitting on the, as we say in German, hohen Ross, we sit on the high horse, on the pedestal, and we judge, Lincoln was bad because he treated the First Nations badly. My God, it makes me cringe in despair, because I love history.
Absolutely.